Oh, they can't hear me. There you guys. Can you guys hear me now? Morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Happy Wednesday.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you guys hear Mike? Let's do a mic check. Mic check 1 2. Can you hear Mike?
Make sure there's no echo.
Good morning. Good morning. Yep, they hear you.
All right, perfect.
Awesome. We're golden. Happy Wednesday. This week is absolutely flying by. Welcome in. Welcome. We have a lot to go over this morning. This is going to be an incredible pre-market. There's a lot to go over this morning. We're going to talk about what happened yesterday, right? What happened yesterday? What was the sort of theme of yesterday's session? It was opening bell downside, right? So it's gonna be kind of a lot we talk about today. Welcome in. How did everybody do yesterday? Did you guys have a nice Tuesday? Hopefully everyone had a nice Tuesday. Welcome, welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Everybody's sleeping in this morning. It feels like I'm talking to a crayon. Everyone in the chat is asleep right now. They're dead asleep. We have 500 people here this morning. Where is the energy, guys? Come on.
All right, let's get some energy.
The market opens. The market opens in less than 1 hour. We have 58 minutes before markets open. Green yesterday. Nice. Chad, very nice, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. Great start. All right. Let's dive into it, guys. So we have Mike on the stream with us this morning. Mike is here. Mike is going to be here. I think we're going to do this every Wednesday, and Rav and I are going to run it every Friday. So, obviously, I'll still be here every day too. So I'll be here Monday, Friday, and then we're going to have Mike and Rav also joining on Wednesdays and Fridays. So we're still kind of balancing out some technical things. So you guys are going to see us work through it. But right now, I think we've gotten pretty far, and I think it looks really good on my end. I'm watching the stream on my right hand monitor, and it looks pretty good. So let's dive into it. Mike and I are going to talk a lot about what's going on in the market. We'll talk about the sort of SPY initial downside, right? SPY downside was incredible yesterday. It was just quick. It was right off the gate. If you were quick to catch, if you were prepped yesterday and ready to execute off the open, there were opportunities right off the market open yesterday, right off the rip, right off the sound of the bell yesterday. SPY immediately dumped under 628, gave some opportunities to downside. And it also gave opportunities for those who were patient and waited for demand, right? And that was the thing yesterday, right? It was not getting caught up with initial downside moves. It was understanding initial downside moves yesterday were nice, but if you waited and were patient, you also could have caught some demand balances back at lows. And again, that was like the Friday lows on SPY. So we'll talk about that on SPY today. We're going to go over the QQQ chart discrepancy. Mike was just talking about this to me this morning as well. And it's very obvious, right? The QQQ discrepancy is crazy. Look how weak the QQQ is compared to the S&P, right? You have Qs under our Tuesday's highs, Tuesday's opening price. And you also have SPY well above its Tuesday's opening price. So big discrepancy on tech and SPY this morning. Tech and the ES, right? Big discrepancy. So we'll go over that as well. We'll talk about Tesla. You got to be something wrong with you to trade Tesla today, seriously, but we'll talk about it. We'll go over AMD, downside, Nvidia, downside, Apple. We'll let Mike, you'll go over Apple today.
I'll
We can talk about
Apple.
yeah. Apple though looks really good this morning. So we'll talk about Apple as well. And we're going to have a really nice pre-market start to the morning. So I don't want to yap too much. I want to just finish my yapping here, and then I'll pass the mic over to Mike. So today is Wednesday, July 23rd. Today's session, we have some data, okay? We have existing home sales at 10 o'clock. We have the Fed expectations at 10 o'clock as well. And you have a bond auction at 1 p.m. Okay, so that's what we have on the docket for today, right? You have some 10 o'clock data and some 1 o'clock data. Be careful at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is going to be important today. Just understand the market may see some increased volatility. And if you're all in 0 GE and SPY, right? 10 o'clock candle is going to be a little bit of a wonky candle, right? Just be careful of that going into today's session, right? In terms of earnings reports, this is the biggest session for earnings reports this week. Wednesday, the 23rd of July, we have Tesla, we have Google, we have IBM, we have Chipotle in the after hours today. Let's be careful of that going into today's session. Let's be mindful. Let's probably not trade Tesla today and stay away from Tesla. But let's also understand that there could be some, now here's the thing about today's session is there is a strong argument for today's session being a bit choppy. Be prepared for a choppy session today. Some sessions you have to understand it just may be choppy. The reason why I'm saying that, there's two reasons why I'm saying that. Reason number one is because we have Tesla, Google, IBM, Chipotle earnings in the after hours. Market probably isn't going to make a humongous move before that. The second reason why is because the market just gave us incredible value yesterday. Opening bell downside move was incredible. The demand bounce opportunities were also incredible. Market doesn't like to give too many incredible days back to back. So be careful of that. There's a strong argument for today being a bit on the choppier end. Now, granted, let's be optimistic. Let's see what we can get today. But of course, keep that in the back of your mind, right? The back of your head that the market may be a bit choppier this session. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to dive into SPY's chart. We're going to talk all about it. Mike, I'm actually going to let you start off SPY today and give us your levels on SPY's chart. I'm going to go to the 15-minute time frame so they can see it, and I'll zoom out so you can get a proper view here. Do you have any big levels today on SPY?
Yeah, I mean, SPY is pretty obvious, I think, here. We're just opening right back up at supply, that same supply that failed on Monday. So pretty much we just have to see, we either reject this, we get a failure of 631.50, or we push through it. I mean, that's all we have to watch for today on SPY.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I agree. Like the big levels of resistance today's session, we have that major supply high here at 631.50. That's a previous all-time high. We have demand below there at 629.5, and we have the mega demand below here at 628 and 626. You guys yesterday, like we'll say this, right? Like look at the 5-minute chart yesterday. Yesterday's chart, we knew that the level was simply 628 and 626 and 625. Those are the three big levels on SPY. We said this very clearly in the morning. We said if we lose 628, we're going to see 626. But we also said that if you were going to hold your shorts into 626, there is a high chance of getting smacked in the face of the textbook. That's why this market prep is really important, right? Because yesterday you did see opening bell downside yesterday. The aggressive move yesterday under 628 was clearly downside facing, and you saw this selling pressure come in all the way to 626. But if you maintained puts or tried to open puts into 626 yesterday, you probably just were not prepped for the market, right? Because that simply was just Friday's lows. Friday, the July 18th lows on the market was 626. And the market sold sharply off into that Friday's lows. If you held puts into that, that was kind of detrimental yesterday. I mean, obviously, hopefully you didn't, right? Hopefully you just scalp puts under 628. Then maybe even went long there at 626. That was the big long spot yesterday. We then pushed back to 628. 628 couldn't really break above. And finally, you said to break above and squeeze higher back into 629.5. Now, today's session on SPY, just like Mike is saying, right? What you're looking for on SPY is you're looking to see, can we see a break and hold above previous all-time highs, right? And that's going to be a break and hold above 631.50. If that breaks, then we can see some sustained upside in the market back into highs. But the one thing I'll say is kind of just like yesterday, right? What did we say yesterday? Yesterday, we said we can't go short at the open. We can't go long at the open because we were simply just we were sort of sandwiched between two big levels. Now, today's session, it's kind of similar to yesterday, right? We're sandwiched right under a big supply here at 631.50. Let's not be overly bullish today and start buying calls right now into resistance. Let's wait for this to clear out. If this can clear out above that 631.5, we see a little bit of a break and retest here, then we have a beautiful upside trade and upside momentum, right? So that's your first possible play here in SPY. And the second play, that's what Mike was talking about, right? The break and hold above all-time highs. And the second play is going to be pull back to 629.5, in which case we're looking for longs there as well as big demand, as big demand, as big demand. Okay, so that's the two logical things to look for today's session. 629.50 for a pullback long, or 631.5 for break and hold. Mike, what about ES?
Yes, I mean it looks the exact same as SPY, right? So that it's like 63.75 is the level, and we just have to either break or fail this level today. We're at supply.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You said the level you have on ES is 63. What was it? 63.73.
63.75, I guess. It's the same as SPY, whatever 631.50 is.
Right. Okay. So it's about 63.75 on the ES chart is your level. And I agree, right? That's the level here on ES's chart, right? So you have basically like it's just a lot of whim whims, right? You see big upside, whim whim, big downside, whim whim, right? So you're just seeing lots of just whim whims, whim whims. Today's session, you again, do we expect anything different today, right? I mean, I think the expectations are that we could also see another rejection here at all-time highs, right? Let's be careful here at all-time highs. This is an area of resistance. Let's not be rhinos and start buying calls into resistance. Let's wait for it to clear out. If it can clear out, look for this. Or if you see us pull back today, right? If you see us pull back to demand, you could look for longs, right? And again, the level on SPY's chart, which and this is key for me. This is really important for me. The pivot for today's session on the SPY chart is 629.5. Simply just our Tuesday's highs. If we can pull back to Tuesday's highs, it's not necessarily bearish, right? Because again, that's just a pull back to pre-session highs. There should be a long opportunity. So if you're looking at the ES chart, this is SPY obviously, but you're looking at the ES chart, the level you're watching is probably going to be around this 63.53, right? On the ES. So if you do see us pull back to this level right here, 63.53, I'll make it a green zone here. It's not necessarily, yes, it is indicative of market rejection off all-time highs. I see it, right? But it is still big demand below. So I think if you're watching for a pivot today's session, your pivot should simply be 63.53, okay? If we're above that level, we're bullish. If we're below that level, we're bearish. What does that mean? It means that we can trade off this level, right? So if we see us pull back to this level and start retaining this level today, that's your best possible long entry, right? Simply just previous session highs. If you see us clear above this level, obviously upside. If you see us fail below 63.53, then more downside the market comes in. Okay, Mike, what about Qs? I know you're much bigger on the watching the QQQ, so I'll let you go over that one as well.
Yeah. So for the Qs, really what I'm watching is NQ. NQ, we have a massive level, 23,100. If we lose that, we can make a 200-point move down. It's just huge. If you look at the hourly, 23,100.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's my golden level on the NQ is at 20. Wow. I mean, that was a spot yesterday, right? I mean, imagine look at the golden zone yesterday. This was the golden zone we spoke about pre-market, right? What Mike is saying right now, 23.1K, right? That's the golden zone on NQ. That's exactly where the market maintained yesterday. So I agree, right? And it's actually interesting, right? You were talking about the discrepancy on tech this morning, right? You noticed like how SPY is so strong compared to Qs. It's definitely a bizarre thing to see. I think we're gonna see some of that when we look at the indices today. But your level on NQ is 23.1. What about resistance? Do you have any big levels of resistance above us?
Yeah, I mean 23,400, but I don't know. Qs just look so much weaker than SPY.
They do. Yeah, they do. So you're watching for shorts under 23.1, I presume?
23,400 is where I shorted on Monday.
Okay.
And then today, if we get weak, then yeah, below 23,100, we should get a nasty move down.
Okay. Yeah, so you're looking for mostly downside plays on Qs. And I think it makes sense because QQQ is much weaker than SPY. So obviously, right, look for fades back at the previous all-time highs here, 23,400. Or look for that failure back under 23.1K. I think that would be a logical thing to do here on the NQ chart. On the QQQ chart, it's again the same thing, just different lettering here, right? But it's the same thing. On the Qs, what's your equivalent of that 23.1 on NQ to QQQ? Would it be 557?
I think it's like 558.50.
558.50. Okay.
Yeah, whatever yesterday's low was, because that's where we bounced.
Right, that makes sense. So 558.50 would be the golden level here on the QQQ chart. So if we do lose this low, right, this 558.50, that's where we can get some more downside, right? And then that makes sense because basically that's just saying let's look for us to lose that Tuesday's lows. So if we do lose Tuesday's lows here on the NQ chart or the QQQ chart, right, that's where more sustained downside can come in. I think that's probably the best case scenario for shorts, right? So if you're looking for shorts on the market, QQQ under 558.50 for downside. Likewise, also SPY, right? If you see SPY fail back below 629.50, that's also a short. But as of right now, SPY is bullish, right? I have a hard time. Like this is one of the biggest discrepancies between SPY and Qs that I think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen it this large before. I mean, maybe a few. Like, you can probably count. You can probably count on a hand how many times this has happened where you see SPY so much stronger than tech, right? So if you look at SPY, I have no reason to go short here, right? There's no thesis right now to go short unless we get back under 629.5. But if you look at the QQQ chart, the thesis is very much so there, right? We are under our Tuesday's highs, therefore we can look for shorts. We're actually red on the session, right? We can look for puts under 558.50 shorts, or we can look for that 564 fade for shorts as well. So it's interesting, right? But I guess we're gonna have to see who's the winner, right? Who is gonna actually lead the market? Is it gonna be SPY or is it gonna be Qs? Because we're gonna go one direction, right? SPY and Qs eventually will move in tandem. The question is, which direction do we move towards? Is it SPY is the right one and Qs are wrong, or is it the QQ that's right and SPY is wrong? So that being said, let's dive into tickers today. Mike, I'll let you start off the ticker review. Let's go over Apple.
Okay.
Let's see.
Apple. You have it pulled up?
Yeah, yep. I have it pulled up
Yeah,
here.
okay. Yeah, so Apple, you guys know I was long Apple yesterday. I definitely got caught in some chop and had a couple of small losses. But at the end of the day, we actually had the read right, the direction. The tape was strong the entire morning. It just got so choppy that I couldn't hold my options all day. You know, if we were equity traders, that would have been an easy hold. But options, you just can't keep holding because the contracts decay. So it did eventually wind up breaking out, and it's gapping up again this morning. So I like another entry if we get above Monday's highs, or if we get a pullback into where I went long yesterday around 214.
Yeah. This is one of my top watches today as well with you. I like this a lot, right? So the issue that I'm having with this chart though, like I love this chart from like a strength standpoint, right? Meaning like I like the fact that it's outperforming market, right? So that for me just is I really like. I like the fact that even yesterday's session, notice this, right? Notice that yes, despite all the selling in the market yesterday, this stock didn't move, right? It literally just stayed flat on Tuesday, right? So when the market was flushing, SPY was flushing, this maintained above its Monday's lows, right? And if you look at SPY, right, look at Monday's lows on SPY. Where's Monday's lows on SPY? Monday's lows on SPY are around 628 and change, okay? Now, while SPY was moving down lower, way under its Monday's lows, you have Apple, which was a defender, right? Just a name that just maintained itself, right? A freight train, okay? It maintained itself all session, and today's session is gapping up. Now, this to me looks really good for longs. Like, that's just the first thing. My immediate response to this chart is, okay, where can I find a long entry? The issue that I'm having is like I look at the chart and it's difficult to find a long entry because I see so many different levels. So like I think that I do agree Monday's highs is a level I'm watching as well. It's like I think it's like 215.8. It's a little bit of a weird number, so I'm not like a huge fan of it. But let's see what we can get today. I like this a lot. Like if it can clear 215.8 today, that Monday's highs, I think we can get a nice little breakout trade back into 218. So we can watch that today as well. Keep this on the back burner for upside above those highs. Likewise, we can also look for longs back at where'd you go long yesterday? Was it 213?
Yeah, like 213.50. 214 was the level I had.
213, 214. So we could just look for longs there. So either longs off and that would be basically the highs of that consolidation, 214 and change. So we have some levels on Apple. The issue that I'm having on Apple is it's kind of like it's a really nice chart, but the levels are a little bit wonky. But 2 and 4 is what I'd watch as well. I keep that in the back burner. 2 and 4 for longs, or 216 breakout today. 2 and 6. I'll just round up higher. 2 and 6 for breakout trade higher back in 218. Okay, that's Apple. Let's move on. Let's go over AMD. Did anybody? You guys better have taken AMD, because if you didn't take AMD, I'll be upset, right? There's got to be someone, at least someone must have taken AMD. My ass did not take AMD yesterday, and I was so mad. I ended up getting stuck with demand bounces yesterday. But did somebody in the chat at least get AMD? We literally spoke this into existence yesterday pre-market, talking about the volume profile all the way from 156 failure to 148 failure. That was an insane move. And you guys, this is why we do the pre-market. This is why Mike and I are here right now, because you guys must be taking your own trades too. This is the most important part about why we do this. So saying you bank 7K, awesome. Absolutely awesome. This is like, This is why we do this too. It absolutely makes me happy to see that. Incredible, incredible, incredible. AMD. So what do we do in AMD now? Think about this for a second. Let's just be smart for a second right now. My mouse is absolutely lagging like crazy. I don't know why it's doing that. But if you were short AMD yesterday, let's just say you went short AMD yesterday under 156. And you were short it, and you nailed the move, and you were so happy. You caught the downside, right? Like many of you guys did, right? And you see yesterday it sort of very quickly V-shaped, right? Very quickly V-shaped, pulled back to the same level you shorted at, right? And this morning you were seeing it back above the same level you shorted at. Now this is telling us something. It's telling us not to go short today on AMD, because what could happen today could be an opposite continuation move, right? Basically, you have a downside play. It reverses the whole move back into highs. We've just reclaimed the technical level that we failed yesterday, causing the downside. So you would expect today, with the same exact mindset we had yesterday, that you could potentially see this to squeeze higher, right? And I think we should leave this alone as long as we are above 156. Because if we are above 156 today, 156, we are bullish and likely can see a squeeze higher back in 162. If you fail back below 156, then yes, of course, there's downside potential back into 153 and 148. So again, your level today on AMD is simply just 156. If we are above 156, we are bullish. If we are below 156, we are bearish. That's what it is, right? And where are we moving to? We're moving to probably, I would say, into Monday's highs here, 160, which could be a nice long. This could be a beautiful long today if the market holds strong. Okay, this could be an incredible long opportunity here, 156, reclaiming the whole downside move yesterday, moving higher back to 160. This could be a long opportunity. Be careful with shorting AMD today's session. Okay, Nvidia, Mike, do you have anything on Nvidia?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the same thing as you yesterday. Shorts on semis. I had Nvidia below 169 on my watch. It just happened so fast off the open, and the move was very aggressive. And SPY was still above demand. SPY was still above the 628 demand. So,
right.
It was on a Monday. I didn't want to get super aggressive on a Monday, but Nvidia actually worked. AMD worked. We just missed out on that entire downside move, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 169 is the level that I have for Nvidia. So if we're below that, bearish, above, bullish.
Yeah, exactly. The key thing yesterday was, did you find entries? Now, Nvidia, like when you're trading and break and retest, you got to see some pop candles. Now, granted, if you go to the smaller time frames, like the 2 minute, like you can find entries, right? You like even in AMD, right? On AMD, there were entries. You could have entered, right? You could have taken this on 2 minute time frame break and retest, right? This was actually perfect. Breakdown, failure here, we're on 155.3. It retested. There were short opportunities here in AMD. The question was, how aggressive did you want to get, right? If you were aggressive yesterday, you nailed the AMD move, you nailed the Nvidia move, right? On today's session on Nvidia, the question is, are we holding levels here? And the answer is, yeah, we are, right? You saw us sort of reverse back under 168 for real downside, right? We're into 165. Now, today's session, we are above 168. We are above 165, obviously. Where are we moving to now? Well, the next big level really is 169, right? 169 and change is that big level. I would even argue, if you zoom into the 15-minute time frame, right? It's 169 is that key pivot. You can see lows and lows and lows and lows, right? If we can get above 169 here, there is some upside squeeze potential back into 171. But as of right now, this to me looks a bit, it's kind of interesting to see that this to me looks a bit different from AMD, right? AMD has reclaimed.
Heavier than AMD.
Yeah, it looks heavier. AMD is reclaimed, right? AMD is reclaimed 150. So you're going to see this move into, so AMD may be wrong. Maybe AMD does fail below 156 and you see downside. But Nvidia right now is weaker, right? Nvidia right now is giving you the most perfect break and retest rejection here at 169 for puts. This is what's happening, right? If we are under 169, we're bearish. If we are above it, we're bullish. So be careful today. I mean, this is going to be an interesting session, right? Yesterday was easy. Seriously, yesterday was really easy. I shouldn't say easy. If you were prepared yesterday's session, it was easy. If you had the levels in front of you, it was just trading the things that hit your levels, right? AMD failing, Nvidia failing, puts, bounces at demand, SPY, bounces at demand, Amazon, bounces at demand, Apple, right? Yesterday's session, if you had the levels marked, it was okay, just long back into demand or short back into supply, right? Today's session, it's not going to be as easy. right? We're opening back into resistance here in Nvidia 169. The question is, what happens here? Do we see a break above 169 and upside today, or does this fail back lower and drag the whole market with it, right? This is going to be a really important thing to watch today. Watch Nvidia. Why did the market sell off so aggressively yesterday? Was it because of your little cute Amazon was selling, your little cute Tesla was selling? No, it was because of semis. Semis sold the market yesterday. Let's watch semis today and see what they do. Are they above 169 like Mike was saying, or are we below 169? Okay. Mike, what about Tesla? I want to force you to go over Tesla.
Earnings.
I know, but we got to go over it. There's DJs in this chat. You got to tell them. What are your levels of Tesla?
Guys, Tesla has earnings this afternoon. I wouldn't touch Tesla today. The premiums will be extremely expensive, and the contracts won't move because of IV. The levels, I mean, I have 335, and then like 322. Looks like.
Yeah. That's pretty much. I have 331 and then 335. But I don't think we're not going to trade this pre-earnings, right? This is going to be more of a post-earnings trade. I mean, the IV, what was it yesterday on the Tesla contracts? I think it was pretty high. I think I mentioned it. I forget what number. It was high. Yeah, it was high. So be careful in Tesla today. Obviously, resistance above and demand below. I mean, what am I going to say here? There's nothing to really say here in Tesla. Amazon.
I have a ticker.
Which one?
I never thought I would be saying this, but BA got some news. We have a catalyst this morning, and we have a really, really nice hourly level plus a daily gap fill. So there's news that Japan is going to buy 100 Boeing planes. And then, so 234, if you look on the daily chart, has a gap fill to 243. It's a $10 gap. Yeah,
I see it. Dangerous chart, dangerous waters here, but I like it. Yeah, it's nice. BA above 234. A little bit of a bull flag there as well, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a good chart, guys. Obviously, Boeing is kind of infamous for having false breakouts, but it's a good chart. If it gets the momentum, you can ride it.
Yeah, I can see it. This is a nice looking chart, right? Beautiful little gap fill above, bull flag and strong catalyst, clears 234. I like this. Is kind of similar to AMD, right? AMD with that little gap fill below, and this has a gap fill above, right? If this can clear 234, upside back at 243. What's your next level? You said above 234. Where does the gap fill end? I want to make sure I have it right.
243. Yeah, 243. It's like a $9 move.
Yeah, 243. That's where the gap fill ends. So if you guys are seeing it on my chart here, you can see it, right? He's talking about this gap between price. Oh, you can't see it. I have to go over here. The gap between 234 and 243. Okay. Yeah, nice chart. Let's watch it. Amazon. On the Amazon chart. So yesterday's session, this was the long, right? Remember we spoke about this pre-market as well, right? There was initial downside move yesterday on Amazon. So we took a little bit of Amazon. Did we take Amazon on Monday? I can't remember. No, we didn't. We spoke about Amazon on Monday, right? We should have went long on Amazon on Monday, but we didn't. Okay. Now we broke out on Monday session. Tuesday, we pulled back to demand, and this was the best possible long entry. We longed pretty much the exact lows yesterday. We longed Amazon at 226.6 yesterday and got a little bit of an upside move back in the highs. A nice little winner yesterday, even though the market was moving down lower. We saw SPY was pulling back to demand yesterday, and we saw that Amazon was pulling back to its major break and retest level, right? This was the spot. This was this is the picture perfect example of what happens in the market. You have a stock that's incredibly strong, producing big level of resistance here. Finally, it breaks above and you catch the long entry, or you don't catch the long entry. And then it rips higher in the market and you think, oh my God, I'm never going to catch the pullback long in Amazon. I missed the trade. And then all of a sudden, a week later, a day later, a month later, in this case, a day later, it sells off aggressively to our demand zone. And we are there to long it, okay? And that was a long spot yesterday, 226.6, 227. That was a long spot, and we caught a little bit of a long entry back to 228. That was my day yesterday. Nothing crazy. Of course, AMD, Nvidia, those are probably the winners yesterday, but this was the second or third best trade yesterday, okay? Now, what happens now on Amazon? Because Amazon's bounced already. Now, it's already bounced first. At this point, you would expect this just to push out highs. The only way I would trade this now is on momentum, right? So I don't want to trade bounces anymore to 227. I would only trade this above highs. Okay. The reason why is because when a stock bounces off a level like this, right? It bounces off your level. It's already tapped demand below. It's already tapped liquidity below. If it taps again here at demand, I don't think it's possible to hold, but it's unlikely. I mean, it probably fails back lower. So the way I would trade this is either under 227 for puts or above that 230 for longs. That's it. That's all I would do here on Amazon. Above 230 for longs would be my top watch. Below 227 would be a short side watch as well. You're just trading it under Tuesday's lows. Really, I would say under 226.5 would be the logical scenario. Okay. Right. Mike, do you have any tickers you're watching? Anything besides the main ones we've gone over so far?
Yeah, I'm watching Netflix.
I have crazy drawings here on Netflix. It's kind of embarrassing.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay.
I'm on Netflix here.
Yeah, so Netflix, guys, I'm watching 1180 is huge. If you look at the daily, 1180 is a huge demand. Or I'm watching the 1200 reclaim because that was kind of our low after earnings and we bounced off. And yesterday actually Monday. Yeah, Monday was really strong when we bounced off of 1200. So if we can reclaim that 1200 level, we should see at least a 20-point move. And then 1180 is just a big demand. So I want to see how we react there.
Yeah. It looks good. I'm not going to say anything about Netflix. I'm not a big Netflix trader, but it looks good. That's a big demand below. Is that 1,180, 1,170? Very, very big level. Moving on. SMH chart is 283 demand. Right, this was the big level. I mean, this was just surgical. This was literally just everything yesterday was so tactical, right? Just surgical pullback to demand. You have a demand here at 283 yesterday. We maintained 283. The question today is this: do we lose 283? If you see SMH lose 283, that's where you can see some more sustained downside. If the market if the semis lose 283 today, then I think you have a clear winner in QQQ leading the downside. You see what I'm saying, right? A little bit confusing there. But if SMH loses this 283, then I think we know who's going to win the battle between SPY and Qs, right? Who is the right ticker? And then we know, okay, if 283 loses on semis, then we know, okay, QQQ is the winner and probably downside today, right? But if you see this maintain 283 today, doing stuff like this, right, then you know that SPY is probably going to win and upside back into highs here, 288 is the most likely scenario. So again, watch semis today, particularly watch the SMH to see if it's maintaining above 283, okay? Moving on. Josh, thank you very much, Josh, much appreciated. Meta, yes, we will go over Meta. Actually, Mike, do you want to go over Meta? I'll let you cover Meta because
Meta. I wasn't watching Meta. Let me check. Meta is just in the middle of nowhere for me, guys. I'm not touching this name.
Yeah, it is. It's been just sort of bound between that 705 and 715. That's what's been the story recently. It's been long 705, short 715. Long 705, short 715. Eventually, I think this does break out. I just don't know when it's going to be. I think yesterday I was speaking about breaking out, and it just didn't do that, right? It just absolutely rejected off supply yesterday, just immediate rejection off supply with the overall market, and moved back into demand. At this point, 716 has to clear. If 716 can clear, then we can look for upside. So that's what I'm seeing there, Joshua. But thank you, Joshua. Thank you for the donation, man. I'll use that for my coffee fund this morning or something. I don't know. Thank you very much. So yeah, Meta above 716 is the big level. That's what we need to clear out for longs. Okay. What are you watching? Anything else, Mike?
No, we could just start going over names that they're saying in the chat if you want.
Yeah, let's go over names, guys. Type your tickers in the chat. Mike and I are going to review it, and we'll dive into it. PLTR, first one. So PLTR, 144 is your big level, right, of demand below, and 155 is your supply above. For shorts, you want to see us back on 144. I think that's what I'm seeing here on the PLTR chart. Anything else to add there?
Yeah, I had 152 yesterday. That's where we failed, and it was Friday's low. So 152 is just kind of an intraday pivot. If it gets back above 152, we probably squeeze back to 155.
152. Okay, so 152 is your level today. Above it, bullish, below bearish. Yeah, I see it. It's a very clear pivot intraday, right? So I mean that could be an area if you look for shorts today as well. If the market fails, 152. BULL. So bull, just like yesterday. Remember yesterday we said that bull was bullish as long as we were above this 14.5, and I think that was the case yesterday. You saw some sort of some quick taps of 14.5 and a rip off that. I mean, this was a trade and a half yesterday. Imagine just longing yesterday, holding that 14.5. I mean, go back to the pre-market yesterday and listen to what we said here in the pre-market, right? We mentioned the idea that as long as we were above this 14.5, we're bullish, and it just literally ripped off that level. Today's session here on bull, I think obviously, right, you're still bullish as long as you're above 14.5. That's the key thing to note. As long as we're above Tuesday's lows, we're bullish. Now the question is, where does it go to? At this point, it probably goes back into this 18.8, which is the next big level here. If we can clear 18.8, that's where more upside comes in. But again, 18.8 is a big level, so be careful of that. 18.8 is a massive level here on BULL. Okay. Right. What else do we have there? Do we have anything else? I'm reading the chat to see.
There's so many.
Yeah, they're going crazy. Do you want to pick one?
Yeah, and a lot of these names that they're saying though are just not doing anything. I've been checking. Let's see. Oh, we could look at that
SoFi?
KSS.
KSS?
Yeah, KSS guys, that was a short squeeze. So 49% of the float is short, and that there was no news, no catalyst. It just is in the middle of a short squeeze. The level I would watch for an opening drive momentum play. If you're an equity trader, you can't touch this on options, guys. But if you're an equity trader, open drive momentum. If it reclaims 1.515, then this thing can rip.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. If it can reclaim 1.5, I like that.
Yeah.
And then target back into what, like 21, 20? 20?
Yeah, it just depends if the open drive momentum is strong and rips through it, then it can go. If it fails, then that's where I would look for shorts. But again, you have to touch this name on equity only.
Right. Above 15.0 for equity. Target TGT. I love the daily and monthly and target. I've been moving, like I was telling Mike a little bit yesterday, but I'm buying target up a lot recently. I've been a big buyer of target. My risk on this is going to be under 80, so I'm basically getting in with a $26 risk, and my reward is back into these highs here, 173. So I'm buying target. I'm actually moving a lot of my equity from Nvidia into target. I like retail. There's a few reasons why I like retail, but from a technical standpoint, I love this larger time frame. If you're day trading target, just be careful. Obviously, things can happen intraday, but on the larger time frame, this looks really, really good on TGT. Right, beautiful, beautiful pullback, bull flag into that daily level of demand. Even just a monthly. Look at the monthly bull flag. Right, just incredible monthly bull flag here on TGT. So really nice chart. Okay, TSM.
Not sure.
Say again.
Not sure. That actually looks good. Someone posted XYZ. Yeah, really, really strong chart. Daily level 81. And you can see that it's just where we rejected after they got included the S&P 500. 81 could be a nice level, actually.
81. Yeah, 81. Yeah, that could be a nice one. 81. I don't really watch XYZ very often, so I don't have any level charted here, but it makes sense. It looks good to me. 81. If 81 clears 81.5, then we have upside back into these highs here, 85.5, and then 94. Anyway, guys, we can probably call it here. Thank you guys all for joining in. Everybody give Mike a follow on YouTube. Mike, what's your YouTube channel again?
Mike Trades 1.
Mike Trades 1, not number 2, not 0. Mike Trades number 1, okay? Guys, I will see you all on live trading. Have a happy and safe trading session.
All right, see you guys soon. Thanks for joining. Bye.